The coach, a Hollywood screenwriter, is an amazing person, an interesting life transformer, Bernard.
Get ready. The Amazon was 6 months from going bankrupt. Lady Gaga and everybody thought she was crazy. Steve Jobs did not try to be successful. Can you think of anybody else playing that role other than Leonardo DiCaprio?
Parents ask not what you feel, but what you think.
What did you have to do to be loved as a child?
I'm in pain.
Shut up.
In the world of film, what qualities must a person have to win an Oscar?
The actors are a little different than business people.
How do you open up your feelings?
The thing you hate most about you is usually your gift.
How exactly do you find that safety?
If you worry about money, you'll never get money.
Do we need to change everything?
It's time to transform.
Good afternoon. I welcome everyone to my podcast. I am thrilled to have you all here today in this exciting episode of my podcast, where we engage in thought-provoking conversations with some of the most fascinating individuals from various fields. Today we have a very, very popular guest, a media guest from Hollywood, a coach and a screenwriter. This amazing person is known for their interesting life transformations, and of course for me, as someone who works in the fascinating and ever-evolving field of psychology, it is truly and absolutely invaluable to learn and understand all these amazing tricks and techniques that Bernard skillfully pulls off, quite literally and impressively. So, we are incredibly fortunate to have the most incredible and talented person as our guest today. And, Bernard, a warm and heartfelt hello to you. I'm very glad to see you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
And I would indeed like to ask Bernard some very important questions today, since he truly specializes in transforming people, including actors and the actors he works with, who notably support him, include many well-known names among them, such as, for instance, and many others, including. Furthermore, his expertise is widely recognized and appreciated. His actors possess a unique flexibility, allowing them to adapt to various roles and situations with ease, showcasing their versatile skill, their authenticity, and verify to ensure. And what I saw today, having attended the first day of Bernard Hiller's incredibly impactful and transformative workshop, shook me to my core in great detail, both emotionally and intellectually, and left a lasting impression on me. I saw how people who come in somewhat low on energy or without much excitement, eagerness, and enthusiasm, but with a desire, passion, and determination to change, slowly and gradually begin to light up and shine. And you can see the fire in their eyes. It's just incredible. And my sincere and unwavering admiration, Bernard, comes first and foremost. And secondly, I just want to ask, how do you actually manage to do this?
Well, the thing is that, first of all, I am honored to be here with you. It's a pleasure. And you're doing beautiful work, helping people. I think those are the most beautiful things, being a therapist, working in spirituality. Beautiful. The exercises that I do for actors, artists, and business people is based on something I've created called transformation. And I know that the number one problem people have, among other problems, is they're not connected to their emotion. They're not emotionally connected. So we're doing emotional exercises. Now, the actors are a little different than business people, because if actors are not emotional, they're not open, they're not vulnerable, they don't work. If business people are not open, not vulnerable, not available, they can work. They can have a huge career. So it's a little different. These artists have to teach people how to live. So we're doing exercises where I teach them how to express themselves, and we really force them. We give them an avenue for them to express their feelings and emotions, where other people and other places, you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance to express your emotions at work, at home. This is a place. This is a place for you, because how emotional you are is how successful you will be in business and as an artist as well.
That's absolutely very interesting. I would like to know how Bernard himself came to this point when he realized that he could transform people and help them.
I would say that, I started teaching, and the teaching, the students taught me what they need. I created these exercises because I saw that students were not happy, they're not connected, they're living in their heads, they're not emotional, they don't ask for help. And so as a doctor, I was looking for a way to really help them. And I know that what people need is they don't need more information, they don't need talking, they need transformation. And so I created the most powerful exercises there's no question about it, that this will transform you to the person that you need to become to achieve what you want. Too many people are thinking always what they want, what they would like to, what their dream is. But I'm teaching people what kind of a person would you need to become to achieve those things. And one of them is emotional, because emotional people are unstoppable. Optimistic are people who are unstoppable because they don't care about facts. We're not interested about facts. And one of the things we have to do, which I've learned from much, is they have to get out of their head, into their heart, being emotional, taking a risk, and being authentic. And very few people want to be authentic because being authentic means being unpopular.
What do you think needs to be done to become popular, or is it something you should genuinely want?
No. The idea is that popularity is not something that we go for. The idea is that first you have to be willing to be authentic. One of the reasons, let's start here's the question you really need to ask everybody you work with. What did you have to do to be loved as a child? Now, what I get 99% of the time is that they had to be a good boy. They had to be a good girl. So they were acting. They were acting a certain way. Being who they were was never appreciated. When children, it's interesting, think about when you're in an airplane and there's a baby, which is a small baby, and you hear it crying throughout the entire plane. How could this small being make such a loud noise? Because it's authentic. But as you grow up, society pushes you, be like this, act like this, do that, and it kills them. But the message they get is whoever they are is not good enough. So I'm in the business of authenticity, because if you're authentic, you will be more successful. All successful people are authentic. Love them or hate them, but you do not forget them. So that's what I'm teaching people. And sometimes the people that I work with are not trying to be popular. They're trying to be authentic. Popular is when you care what people think, you're a people pleaser. No, I want you to make people happy. But the thing you hate most about you is usually your gift. One of the things you don't like about you. See, I think that we're not taught at all, nothing at school, how to be authentic, how to be your own self, how to be who you really are. And one of the things is that in school, as you get older, people bully you, and then you try to be small. You don't want to, who do you think you are? You think you're so special? And people try to stay under, always trying to be small. And the people who are small, being authentic is the number one reason people are suffering, because they're not allowed to be authentic.
What do you think? People and a person, that is, people are those who follow some kind of crowd, meaning they tend to go along with the majority or popular opinion, and they don't identify themselves as individuals, which means they lack a sense of personal identity or uniqueness. And a person who truly understands who they are, if they are deeply in touch with themselves, how quickly can they indeed achieve any kind of genuine business success, whether it's money, love, visibility, and everything that today's person genuinely needs?
No, the idea is that being authentic is step one. I can't tell you exactly, I would say, how long is it going to take for you to be successful. No one, Steve Jobs did not try to be successful. He was doing what he was doing, and then he became successful. If you don't know, because to be truly successful, you have to take risks. To truly be successful, you have to do things no one's ever done before. You have to be willing to believe in yourself when no one else believes in you. When every great idea, every dream, the big dreams, people always say it's impossible. It's impossible to go to the moon. It's impossible to have a phone. Flying a plane is impossible. Everybody thought all great things are impossible. But it's not about trying to be successful. It's trying to be successful for yourself. Try to be true for yourself. It's not for others. And I have a course called How to Live an Oscar-Winning Life. And that means that at the end of your life is very hard, up and down and everything else. At the end of your life, Academy Award is the biggest award you can get. And I want to know, when you come maybe to the end of your life, would you give yourself an Academy Award of how you've lived your life? Have you been able to deal with it? That means that where everybody else was negative, you were positive. When everybody said no, you said yes. You know, when you watch Academy Award performances, they're always difficult. It's always about a person who doesn't have a leg, doesn't have an arm, is struggling, but they win. And what I'm talking about is teaching people how to win if they have the courage to win. Most people don't have the courage to win because you have to take a risk. You have to take a risk on yourself.
All right, this topic is really incredibly interesting and fascinating indeed. And I would like to know the extent of how much risk Bernard himself personally took, and during which specific instances did that risk result in the most substantial growth for him.
No, I took risk right from the beginning. If you follow a dream, it's a risk. I knew that I was going to take a chance. But you have to understand there's a price to pay to be happy. And there's a price to pay to be unhappy. If you're not willing to pay the price, you're not going to get anything. So there is suffering. People like to suffer, be sadness. There's a price for that. If you don't follow your dream or your passion, you're slowly going to die inside. Your soul is going to be killed. So I decided to take a chance. And what you don't understand is that when you take a chance, you have to jump off the cliff. And when you jump off a cliff, if you ever jumped out of an airplane, the parachute doesn't open right away. The parachute opens later. And what you have and everybody has is they have an invisible parachute, which opens up after you take a jump. See, once you jump a lot, you just take more risks. And the more risks, the luckier you become. So I'm always in risk because that's how you win. How do you ever win? Do you ever go to the roulette? You put your money on there? That's a risk. So next time, take 100 euros, 100,000 euros, put it on red, and spin the wheel. And that's what life is the ones who take the risks get the most rewards. So if you take no risk, you don't get rewarded. The more risks I take, the luckier I become. That's how life is. There is either, other people want security. I can either give you security or I can give you happiness, but I cannot give you both. If you want to be secure, which is great too, get a job you like, go to the job, do that. But that's not what I specialize. I specialize working with people and business people who have huge dreams or entrepreneurs, and they are taking a risk. They're spending all their money. The Amazon was 6 months from going bankrupt. And also Apple Computer had 6 months before they said we're going to have to close. So the ones who take risks win.
I believe that you have to take risks. Otherwise, life is meaningless. I think that everyone has their own path to their dream. You can, of course, keep it as a dream, but then you're not really living, you're just dead. And if you want to live, and live the way you want, you definitely have to take risks. You definitely have to do something for that. As we proceed further, I would like to pose a question to you. In your opinion, what are the essential qualities and characteristics that a person who is successful in winning an Oscar award should ideally possess? And
well, you have to understand that what I'm looking for is something very rare. It's someone who's always taking risks, always willing to do something. Look, if you do an Oscar-winning life or an Oscar winner, if you want to win an Oscar, you have to make unforgettable choices. What movie have you seen? I want to ask you, what movie have you seen where there's an actor or an actress that you thought was fantastic in a role? Tell me. Titanic, yes. All right. Who did you love in the Titanic? Which one did you think was fantastic?
DiCaprio.
Okay. So can you think of anybody else playing that role other than Leonardo DiCaprio? Can you think of somebody else playing that role? Or is he perfect? He was
I
perfect.
didn't know.
No, I'm saying. In other words, what happens is that with great performers, there are artists and then there are actors. Actors give you exactly what you expect. Artists never give you what you expect. That's why they're artists. That's why painters paint. You can't think of someone else saying, oh, maybe somebody else could have played that part. No, they were so great because they did more than you expect. And there is parts like Meryl Streep. You're not thinking like, well, I don't know why she's playing that role. And that's because they do things that are different, technique. They just always, the thing about American actors and other actors too, but mainly American, everybody's always training. Everybody's always in classes. In Europe, they don't do that. They don't really study that much. They take a lesson, they go to school, they go to drama school, but it's happening more and more. The English are doing it, the Australians are doing it, and the Americans do it. We're always taking lessons. And they want to give a great performance, but I think life is a performance. Are you giving a great performance? And you know what? The reason why people don't live a great life or are not happy, that's an important thing. I don't want to telling people to be happy because I want to find out why are they not happy. And I've found out why they're not happy, why they're not in a good relationship, why they're not healthy, because they don't love themselves enough. We don't really have a health problem. We have a love problem. You don't love yourself enough. You were willing to suffer in situations or relationships because you didn't love yourself enough to leave. So I want to give you a great idea. I want you to ask yourself a question. Let love decide. In other words, ask yourself, if I really love myself, would I be with that person? If I really love myself, would I eat that? If I really loved myself, would I do this job? Let love decide for you. If I really loved myself, would I be with that man? Just ask yourself, because your body will tell you right away. And the reason people do things that are not good is because they don't love themselves and they suffer. And they think that life is all about suffering. And there are cultures, I'm not mentioning Russia, but Russia is one of our top. They love their suffering. Some people love suffering. They think it's like life is about suffering, it's all like that whole area, not just Russia, Poland, the whole thing over there. In a lot of other countries, they think that it's all about suffering your way through life. That life is fun, then you grow up, and dreams everybody has, but you got to throw it away. But when you kill someone's dream, you kill who they are. And ask your family, ask your parents, hey, what did you dream about? What happened? And they were told, like, wake up, get a real job. And I'm going, this is a real job. I'm still here. And the idea is that it's the unusual person. And I love working with people. That's a good job I have. I work with people who are not normal. There's nothing. Don't ever try to be normal. Normal is very boring. But some people think boring is okay. And if you like it, I like it too. I'm happy too. I'm the person that can help you if you want to be extraordinary, if you want to have a great life, if you love yourself enough to want a life. Because the thing you're going to have to do is change. Life is about change, and if you don't change, you become irrelevant. That's a very important word. Irrelevant is like no one needs you because you're not up to date. And if all of a sudden, Russia or Spain, wherever we are right now, didn't have computers, they'd be out of business. But they didn't want computers. Why would they want computers? They realized they had to be part of it. And so if you are not happy, if you're not living life, you become irrelevant and no one really wants you. Because it's important that, I just think it's important, but I can't make it important for you. But the real problem is, do you love yourself enough to change? Do you love yourself enough to ask for help? Do you love yourself enough to be healthy? There's too much information. We're drowning in information. People know they need to be happy, but they don't. They know what they need to do, but they don't. Because they don't love themselves enough. Some people tell you, oh, I don't like myself, I'm ugly. And you make everyone else suffer when you're like that. Because do you love yourself enough to get healthy? If you cared about your family, you would get healthy. If you cared about people, and the idea is that every child, when they're born and they're on the swing, the swing, whatever, they're like, look at me, mama, look at me. Every child is born loved themselves. They didn't They were taught not to love themselves. You're no good, you're no this, you're no that. And all children are prisoners. So if they're told that they're no good, their whole life they're like this. And what I teach is how to design yourself, how to change that, because you can become whoever you want if you learn how and if you ask for help.
Of course, I absolutely want to truly change myself. And it's very important for me that not just something in my surroundings and environment changes, but that my feelings, emotions, and perceptions change as well. And genuinely in my life, but I know that indeed there are certainly, undeniably, and undoubtedly a truly significant number of individuals who live with thoughts and dreams of wanting something to change in their lives, but they don't want to change themselves at all. And of course, as we all know, I understand and recognize the very significant and crucial importance of asking for help. And of course, I can certainly say that I absolutely want to change. Indeed, please help me. I absolutely use this. Undoubtedly, that's absolutely why I'm truly here with you now. And I have this opportunity to record a podcast with you. And I am absolutely certain that this is just the absolute minimum. And I am undoubtedly confident that you will definitely and positively help me even more during our future interactions and meaningful connections in this wonderful studio. And that is truly, genuinely, remarkably engaging and fascinating. Very much so. Overall, this is extremely, very, very important to me. And I also know the value of gratitude, and I know what it means to be thankful. And I know how to truly, deeply, and sincerely thank people and God for all the wonderful things that are happening to me, for the space in my life right now. I sincerely believe in miracles. I really, truly, indeed, certainly, absolutely want more people to change. This is my job as a psychologist. And when I observe the various things you do, it becomes increasingly clear to me that a significant number of individuals are currently making concerted efforts to visit psychologists in groups. They are dedicating a substantial amount of their time and energy to addressing and working through their personal traumas, rather than seeking and finding strength in the experiences and challenges they have already faced and overcome. An incredible push to not look back, to live your life differently, to invest in something completely different, to change your perspective, and to embrace new opportunities, explore uncharted territories, and discover new passions and interests. And I see how you very clearly do this on a physical level. I haven't seen everything yet, and I'm sure there are surprises waiting for me, but I would like to ask, what makes you happy?
Oh, what makes me happy is to be around my family. That makes me very happy. I have a very good family, but they're all fun. They're exciting. What makes me happy is when we're laughing a lot, when we're finding joy. As my daughter says, we can go to an opening of a supermarket. We just find joy. What makes me happy is anything that brings laughter. I think the greatest thing that people should do, if you really care about people, give them your joy, make them happy. I think that's the biggest thing. And that's why I think comedians are so important. I think if you really want to help people, make them laugh. What I love is being around people that are happy and positive because they're achieving things and doing things. I like to be around, I'm around a lot of artistic, creative people, business and life and arts who think of different things. And I love doing that. That makes me happy. I love traveling. I love meeting you. Makes me happy. Yeah, I pretty much do all the things that makes me happy. As my wife, my ex-wife now, said, you only do things that make you happy. It's true. If it's not makes me happy, I don't want to do it. If I love the thing about the workshop, and I'm having a big workshop in Dubai, February 7 to 9, which is going to be huge. But when I work with someone privately, I interview them to see if I could really help them. I'm not looking for a job. I'm looking to see, are you ready to go to the next level? Then that makes me happy. When they succeed, it makes me happy. When they call me and say, I've changed my life, I changed this, I'm married, because I like to see when, their success makes me happy. And I feel that, if people could just love themselves more, the world would be a better place. Right now, that's really the big problem. There's so much hatred and so much anger because people hate themselves. There's a saying in the Bible, love your neighbor like yourself. So, can you love your neighbor if you don't love yourself? No, you can't do that. That's what the problem is. Love your neighbor like you love you, but people don't love themselves. That's why they don't love their neighbors. That's why they don't love people. Because you cannot give me what you don't have. You have to have love in you to give love. You cannot give me what you don't have. And you don't see the world the way it is. You see the world the way you think it is. There is nobody who sees the world the way it is. I am in beautiful Madrid, but someone could look at it and go, oh, look how terrible, the garbage. We don't see the world. We are living, everybody lives in their own world. Nobody lives in the world.
I completely agree with every word because our matrix world is probably interpreted differently by each person, and I find it fascinating how everyone sees this world through their own glasses, and this unique perspective shapes our understanding of reality. Unfortunately or fortunately, it would indeed be absolutely fantastic to take off these glasses a little bit.
No, but there's actually no way, there's no way that you can look at the world only through your own eyes. Did you ever wash a car? Did you ever take a car to a car wash? Did you do that? Have you done that?
Yeah.
And then after you get in the car, the world looks different because they cleaned the window and everything is so beautiful and so clean. But the world was that beautiful before. You just had a dirty window. So what I try to do is I help people wash their eyes and make them clean. That's the key. Because that's what you see. But if you are a negative person, you will see negativity in me. If you're a positive person, you will see that, and you will not see anything in me that you are not. Sometimes someone says, God, you're a genius. I go, okay. If I'm a genius, then you must be a genius too, because only another genius would recognize another genius. Would someone who is not a genius recognize somebody? That's why the rich people know other rich people. And the negative people know the other negative people. Because in life, you don't meet who you want to meet. You meet who you are.
Yes, of course, if it's great with that.
I know. The idea is to tell her that, of course, she completely agrees because this is organic. This is something that's been true for the last, thousands of years. This is just the truth. This is not like a technique. This is life. And what I'm teaching about is transforming you to who you were born to be. Not make you better, but make you who you could really always be. But you need to be taught, because each and every one of us are taught, really we start off as victims in life. Nobody starts as a winner. You start as a victim. You're by yourself, you don't have money, you don't have anything, and you have to learn how to win because the world doesn't teach you to win. The world says, play it safe, don't do anything unusual, don't take risk, get married, have children, have Merry Christmas, and it's over. It's not like live your life. That's not the way it is. Now, my children are a little different because, I said, no, you need to live your dreams, because if you really live your dreams, you'll always be successful. It's not like the dream is stupid. Other people consider dreams stupid. That's not going to work. How is that going to work? But I know that if those who have worked, in other words, everybody who ever believed in their dreams becomes unstoppable, and unstoppable people always succeed. I have never met anybody who's not succeeded in their dreams. The work you're currently not doing is preventing you from success. Whatever you're not doing is preventing you from your success.
I absolutely and completely agree, without a doubt. I don't know what to add. Indeed, I was genuinely taken aback, quite surprised, and thoroughly amazed that a person possesses such an extensive amount of knowledge and talks in great detail about various things that were relevant yesterday, are relevant today, will be relevant tomorrow, and probably were relevant a century or two ago. I'm afraid that indeed no one has come up with a new plan, but there are absolutely very powerful people, transformer individuals, who have formulated things, who have managed to connect information and make it incredibly, incredibly rich. It's like a concentrate of what can be done with a person, and in essence, how one can redirect a person's focus. And the most amazing thing is that what you do, you truly and genuinely do it on all conceivable levels, both the physical and the emotional, and it remarkably creates a unique and unparalleled kind of emotional and mental flexibility in the talented actors, along with an inspiring and compelling desire to live fully, dream big, or strive passionately for their dreams. Could you share with us what drives you the most in your personal or professional life?
Well, the most important thing is that if you want to achieve something, you have to ask for help, because the number one thing that people don't have is a mentor. You don't need someone to teach you 3-4 days and you never see them again. Have you not seen, the Russians have incredible gymnastics, and they have a coach that's every day they're working. They're not working the coach once a year and goodbye. Where is your coach? All the big stars have coaches. All the business people have a coach. You need someone who's a coach, but the best of the best. Don't settle for anybody. And if you wonder what is the best coach? A coach is someone, when you meet them, it's someone you would switch with them. You would switch with their life. They're so impressive that you go like, I want to be with this guy. I want to be with this woman. And so you need a mentor. Success is not an accident. There's no one been successful in business who's won. You need two. 2 is the magic number. Takes two. 2 people have started different companies. There's not one person. You cannot do anything. The only thing you can do alone is be sad and depressed. But to be successful, you need someone else. To be happy, you need someone else. You can't be happy by yourself. And when you see a football team, when they win, did you notice that the guy who scores the goal is looking for other people to hold? I mean, he scored the goal. The other people didn't do anything. And then all the other people in the stand, they jump and they're holding each other. Why don't you just jump by yourself? It's the idea that learning how to succeed is something that you have to learn how to do, because we're learned how to fail. But you have to love yourself enough to believe in your dream, to believe in yourself. You have to get out of your head. You have to live in joy. You have to do what I call charging your batteries. Every morning you need to charge your batteries. The first 20 minutes decides what kind of life you have. So I want you to listen to music, do something that inspires you. Dance is the most important thing, because dance is a shortcut to happiness. If you're dancing, you can't be depressed. It's impossible, because your body goes, what's the problem? And if you're always thinking and worrying, it's the worst, because that hurts you. It makes you unhappy. It makes you sick. Worrying is a waste of time, but no one really teaches that. And I know my techniques are very powerful because I use them for actors where they need to transform, okay? They don't have a choice. And so I've taken all the powerful exercises and I'm working with business people, and they're looking at me like, you're doing what? Yes. And one of the secrets of when I teach people how to be great public speakers or dynamic public speakers, to be a great public speaker, you have to be willing to lose them. You have to be willing to go so far that you're like, this is the most we've ever seen, because you have to go to the edge. And those are the special people that are willing to take the risks, because that's who they are. Because courage is not your destiny. Courage is a choice you must make. You have to choose to be courageous. That's not a choice. Happiness is also a choice. It's easy to be sad and depressed. It's easy to be pessimistic. It's easy not to believe. I don't believe. Come on. It takes courage to believe. It takes courage to follow your dream. It takes courage to ask for help. I'm looking for those people. I don't work with everybody. In fact, if somebody wants to work with me, they have to convince me that they have the courage to go all the way. Because if you don't, then I think it's a waste of time and money. Keep it. Buy yourself a new car. If you have the courage to go all the way, let's go. If you have a dream that people think is crazy and impossible, perfect. Call me. Because only impossible dreams come true. It is easier to lose 50 kilos than 5 kilos. 5 is impossible to lose. 50 kilos, and you have to get emotional. Emotional people are unstoppable. Logical people are not. There's too much thinking. There's too much talking. It's time to act. It's time to transform.
What do you, in your opinion, think about the spiritual and the material? Is there truly deep meaning in all of this? And does it get lost if you're only focused on money and your dream is just to make money and aspirations in life? Is it profound?
I don't know. I don't work with people who are just thinking about money. They're talking about personal satisfaction. Making money is great. I love people who make money. There's nothing wrong with money. The idea is that money is beautiful, but it's the idea is that I'm more about, do you have a passion for it? Do you enjoy it? Because that gives you, don't look for a job, look for a life. Create a life. So if you're having a great life and you're making millions, perfect. It's nothing. Call me. We'll have some fun. We can have some champagne. Life is about pain or champagne, and life is about champagne. Remember that. One of the things that successful people do that other people never do is everything negative that has ever been told to them, they use it to push them forward. You're unattractive, you're short, you're never going to make it, you came from Russia, it's finished. But I want you to sit up and go, oh, okay. Like, okay, now I'm definitely going to do it. Like everything that pushed you this way, they go like, well, now I have to do it. You understand? The negativity pushed them versus like, oh, I'm no good. Because that's average. Most people are taught to be average and they're afraid of, they believe more in their past. Most people live in their past. They don't believe in the future. They never believe in the future. Never. They love the past. They don't believe in what's in the front of them. But as I said today in class, when you want to conduct your life and be a conductor, you have to turn your back to the audience. You have to do your conducting. And if you ever hear, sometimes you're looking for the radio station, like, and they're like, no. That's, if you're hearing a lot of static, you're not on your station. Because your station goes like, boo, doo, 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 you have to find your station. And most people have been lost their whole life. So first we need to find who you are. So I don't make you better. I just make you who you've always been. Who you've always been your whole life. And that's my specialty.
For me, in my personal opinion, there's this idea that if someone directly tells me, you're not this or you're not that, it doesn't matter what they say, I can absolutely, without a doubt, indeed, unequivocally, tell them to go to hell in the literal sense, because I know who I am and believe in myself. I know what I can do, and I most certainly know where I can absolutely help people with that. Certainly, indeed, I can give faith. I have faith that people can do it too, and I truly believe, and I am confident that even today's podcast is already a source of faith for many people I used to study with, who are still searching for their place in this world, and who are still living in what we call the old society. And, as you rightly said today, everything needs to be changed very thoroughly. If you're willing to change and you have the bravery and determination, then you're not just changing what's within you, but also what's around you in the world. It could be a society, it could be a city, it could be a country, but in any case, these are some significant and radical changes. But do we really need to change everything?
You need to change whatever is not working for you. Change everything. There is no, when you will live your life, if you're following a path, that's not your path. That's somebody else's path. Your path is over there. You have to make it. No one's ever made it before. The way I've lived my life has been, no one's ever done this before. And that's what I like. I like the adventure. I like not knowing what's next. I just know it's going to be good. I like living adventure. It's either adventure or no life, but if you love yourself enough, you want adventure. So I would say that there is, with every person, it's individual what they need to do. But they know, listen, you're pretty smart. You don't really need more, you don't need more, I used to say, you don't need therapy, you need clarity. And that's what I want you, that's what you give people, clarity. They don't need we need to talk about the problem. Okay, it's not the problem. What are we doing about this problem? And is it a problem? And the idea is that it's a problem if you still have the same problem 5 years from now. Some people love their problem. You love what you give your attention to. Some people love their problems. Some people love their negativity. And they always talk about it all the time because that's what they love. They've learned to live in fear and be careful. And they're like, okay, I understand why. I'm not putting anything down. If that's how you want to live. I'm just telling you what I do. is for those who have the courage, who want a better life. But having a better life makes you vulnerable. And having a relationship makes you vulnerable. And having fun makes you vulnerable. And eating makes you vulnerable. And falling in love is vulnerable. And acting is all about being vulnerable. So we use that. So if you ever have a chance to get into an acting class, that's the best thing you could do for yourself. Because actors, in an acting class, you have to find out who you are. Don't you want to know who you are? Don't you want to learn to be authentic? Don't you want to be connected to your emotions? How is this about acting? That's why I've used all the exercises. And I seem right now, I find the only person who's taken the training that I've used for actors for 15 years. And now for the last 20 years, I've been working for business people and their brain explodes. And I've done the same things that I'm doing today with business people. And they have emotions too, right? Business people are human, aren't they? Yeah, there you go. They have feelings, don't they? There you go. And what buries them, remember we talked about the idea is that the people who have traumas or difficulties and pains that don't express get sick. They get ill, big illnesses, and they get cancer. Cancer comes from people who have traumas, who never expressed themselves, who never dealt with it, because that's what this movie called Heal on Amazon you should watch. Talks about people who are getting sick. Why there's so many sicknesses? And it's about one of the causes was people who are emotionally unable to express the pain, unable to cry, unable to scream. And even in classes, sometimes people are like feeling so uncomfortable to scream. But if you could just scream or cry, just all your feelings out, emotions will kill you if you don't do it. Because most people keep your emotions there. Don't cry, don't scream, don't do it. Just have to be strong. That's going to kill you. It's not helping anybody.
I understand, because in most cases, no one really teaches people how to feel in a way that is often overlooked and not emphasized enough and often neglected. Everyone is asked, what do you think? What do you think? In school, they ask, what do you think? In kindergarten, they ask, what do you think? Parents ask not what you feel or experience emotionally in any way whatsoever, but rather what you think. Of course, people are generally not used to feeling deeply, and these complex emotions. Moreover, when people feel and go through serious things like a divorce, or even more severe events such as the death of a grandmother, it doesn't matter what it is. These painful experiences hurt them so much that they refuse to acknowledge their feelings at that moment. They say, I don't want to feel this. It hurts deeply and emotionally, and mentally, I want to shut down. It's overwhelming. And they stop really feeling everything. You can't just simply or easily let go of any one single emotion or feeling. You usually refuse to feel everything at once. So how exactly do you unfasten and unlock that door later, in a way? How truly do you unfasten and open up your feelings, really let them out completely? How exactly do you let your feelings out, really let them out completely? And how do you get to know them?
Well, let's find out what closed them. You know, what happens is that if you take garbage, and leave it in front of your front door, big garbage, and close the door, if you come back in 3 months, garbage is still there. It doesn't go away. It gets worse. So what happens is that people who are emotionally unavailable are people who had such a trauma that are hurt so much that they don't want to feel anything. They don't want to feel anything. But it's impossible not to feel anything. I'm going to take a knife and stab you. And you could say, I'm not feeling. You feel it. You're just not letting it out. There's no way you cannot feel. It's not possible. This is crazy. It's crazy talk. I'm not feeling it. Of course you are. You're just letting it come in. It's hurting you. It's hurting your body. You're getting sick. People get sick. They get illnesses. Absolutely. So now I'm saying you need to open up. But one of the reasons they don't want to open up is they're going to feel all the pain. Yes, because behind the pain is joy. But see, emotions are like things you have in your body. I don't know how to say this, but you have to go to the bathroom. Yes, you have things inside you, you got to get out. Why? Because it's toxic. Do you know what toxic means? It means that stuff, whatever you have inside, if you leave it, it could cause it's a disease. It's not good for you. Emotions are toxic. Emotions unexpressed become toxic. It's not like, oh, just forget about that. You can't forget about it. You try to forget the pain, but the pain doesn't want to forget you. So there are symptoms. You're blocked off, You're lonely, you're disconnected, you feel depressed, you have no hope. These are symptoms of people who have emotionally blocked off, okay? Remember, we don't force people to do anything. They have to want to realize. But when you visit a problem, you're going to visit all the pain. Emotions demand that you express yourself. Demands. But if you hold it back, like, I'm not going to cry. I've had people who, like, I remember I had a student who had a sister die. And when he went back to the funeral, the father said, no crying. Okay, he never cried, father never cried, nobody ever cried. And one day, he's 6 months later taking out the garbage and he starts crying and he cannot stop. Why? Because I'm trying to tell you, emotions need to be expressed. It's not a choice. You're making like, I don't express myself. No, you express yourself by not expressing yourself. But it's constantly wants to come out. Like, you have a blockage. I can't really reach you. I can't understand you. You're alone. You're sad. You're depressed. They all have emotional blockage. They also have, because actors they need to use their voice. The other blocks people have is a voice block. You can't hear them because they were told all their life to just be quiet, shut up. They were told to shut up. That's why they can't speak. And I work on helping people get their voice back. But one of my teachers, Les Brown, said you can only get your voice back when you have the courage to tell people what really happened to you. So when you tell the people what really happened to you, what you really suffered through, what you really went through, then you get your voice back. But in my class, we're working on getting your power back and getting your voice back. Get ready.
I am fully prepared and genuinely ready to thoroughly investigate the situation, ensuring that I consider every aspect and detail. I'm really curious. I've experienced some truly incredible, absolutely unforgettable, and incredibly life-altering moments in my life. And there was a moment when I could have despaired, probably once and for all, when I learned that my second daughter was diagnosed with autism. It was an incredibly life-changing experience. And I truly and deeply learned that she would indeed never, ever absolutely speak the language of planet Earth. As a mom, I embarked on a journey of learning. I delved into healing and clairvoyance to truly understand her, ensuring I could support her in every way. It made me feel incredibly strong and empowered, as if I was overflowing with an immense sense of fulfillment and energy, ready to take on any challenge that came my way. Every single day, I am deeply grateful to God for the immense blessing and privilege of having her constantly by my side, because it is not just an incredible love, but also a profound and unwavering strength that resides deep within me, empowering me in every aspect of my life. This is simply what I've truly been given, and I don't indeed see it as a problem. I see it as my resource. And I am undoubtedly certain that a considerable number of individuals, for various reasons or due to specific nuances, have unfortunately lost access to this incredibly valuable resource, or even perceive a significant challenge within the problem itself. I genuinely and sincerely hope that they will find the right opportunity to open up and actively participate in educational courses such as the ones you offer, because it's truly amazing. These are really such unique and valuable opportunities that should not be missed. Those who want to express themselves, especially those who want to be noticed and recognized for their talents and abilities, because I know that a lot of trauma and emotional distress comes not from what we know, but from what we don't know or understand. When a mother gives birth to a child, for example, or when a mother is thinking about whether to have this child, the baby can already feel it during the prenatal period. And then he is indeed very afraid to express himself. He is truly very afraid to speak his mind. He is in fact very fearful of being seen by others. He is indeed afraid that the world will kill him. How do you find that safety?
Well, if you have parents who live in fear, they give that to their children. They live in fear. And it just keeps going and going. You have to learn how to create a successful child. You have to learn how to be successful. And most people are amateurs. They just don't know. And there's a lot of people have a problem with money. It means that if you didn't have, like, the family never had money, then you're always worried you don't have any money. You're like that. People are always like worried. I say, if you worry about money, you'll never get money. You have to change the way you think. School and everything else that's happened in life has never taught you anything about life. Hasn't prepared you how to live with the relationships. There are fortunately so many children committing suicide, more anxiety, more depression. They don't know how to communicate anymore. They're living on Facebook and they're texting. They're living with imaginary friends, but they actually don't actually have any friends. It's become a much lonelier world. People don't know how to communicate. People don't know how to do anything now. It's getting worse and worse.
Yes, but how can they change their lives? Is there any hack that can help them become aware? Maybe there's some kind of trigger that can switch them on, to switch on just unexpectedly, right? Can we say something right now, at this very moment, indeed, right here and now, for the individuals who will be watching, something that can switch them on and start changing their lives already in a significant way?
Okay, first you have to want to change. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't force anybody. I know you have small children. Do you ever force children to eat ice cream? Have you ever forced children to eat ice cream? No. You know why? Because they want it. Life is like that. There's no like, oh, please, one more chocolate, one more. No, they just like. So you have to do that. But there are exercises, things they could actually do. It's called 3, 3, and 3. I want you to call 3 people in your life and thank them for being in your life. Say, thank you so much. Call 3 people. It's all about action. Not talking, not thinking, it's action. Then I want you to call 3 people and apologize or say, I know we don't get along, and try to do something about that. And then call 3 more people and ask them to be in your life. Because the number one thing that determines your success in life, the number one thing is not positivity, it's not good energy, it's not people who believe. No, the number one thing that determines your life are the people you're around. You said something before that when there are people who are negative to you and this and that, and I can say, I don't have any people like that. What people are you talking about? The number one thing that will determine your success is the group you're in. Show me your group and I'll show you your destiny. If you're with a group that's positive and motivating, if there's 4 people who are going to the gym, you're going to be number 5. If there's 4 people doing nothing, you'll be number 5. So the number one thing, it's not an attitude. If you're positive and you're great, doesn't matter. It's a group thing. The group has always been the most important thing. So find a positive group, find a group, create a group. And sometimes I had a conversation with God the other day. I said, God, why did you create friends? And God said, I create friends to apologize for your family. So that's why you need to create your group. Sometimes a family is crazy and it's not very good for you. Sometimes it is. But if it isn't, create your group. The group is the most important thing. You don't have anyone, you need to be around people that go like, wow, Clavdiya, oh, great. Oh, you want to do something new? That's great. No, like, I don't think so. The question in that situation for me is, why do you have this as a friend? That's the question. That he's negative, I understand, but why are you with him? That's the question. He's clear or she is clear. So the group is the number one reason for success. Group, relationship, who are you with, the right partner, the right lover, the right everything. That determines everything is the group. And I'm very lucky to be working here in Spain and Italy and around the world with incredible people. And I have to say, they have made me successful. It is thanks to them, because miracles happen through other people. Miracles do not happen through you. So don't ever see that person again. Don't see anyone who doesn't see your vision. Don't be around people like that. You don't need to explain yourself. The truth doesn't need, you don't need to explain. The truth doesn't need, you don't need to explain the truth to anybody. The truth is the truth. You don't need to explain or say why it is. It just is your way. And you need other people. Because I met like Lady Gaga and everybody thought she was crazy. And everybody who thinks, once they were crazy, now we love them. And there's a guy, maybe you heard of him, Jesus. Have you heard about Jesus? Jesus is a very interesting story. Jesus, everybody thought he was crazy. And so crazy, they even killed him. That's pretty crazy. And now, Jesus is king. He's the best. He's the wonderful. He said this, he said that. Where were you before? It's not like a new Jesus. It's the fact that that's one of the problems of one of the steps is that people think, oh, this is crazy. And then they go, no, it's not. So if anybody thinks you're crazy, that's a good sign. Are you crazy?
Yes.
Good. I don't know anyone else who isn't. Because those are the only crazy people create things, do things, change the world. All the crazy people who created products, do things, make movies. Those are the people who do things. And those are the people that keeps life going. Thanks to them, we have music. The world is moving thanks to people who believe that the impossible is, of course, possible. Of course it's possible. You just don't know how to do it. 100 years from now, things will be, you come back to Madrid, you will not recognize it because they will live the future. The future is coming. If you're not part of the future, you become irrelevant. You're part of the past. Nobody's interested in you. And how do you know if nobody's interested in you? No one's calling you. If no one's calling you, nobody wants you, you're not giving anything we need. We have much more to talk about. It's only part one.
Oh, yes. This is very interesting. What Bernard is saying now is simply incredible, friends. These are simply profound things that everyone needs to feel. Feel it, allow it, and don't think your inner madness is comparable to schizophrenia. Your inner madness is access to your power, because your inner madness is access to your power, to your true self, why you came to this earth. Otherwise, you just live like a consumer, just thinking of eating, doing laundry, imagining others' ambitions. For some reason, the last person you think about is yourself. You live like a consumer, focused on daily tasks and imagining others' ambitions, but neglect yourself. Bernard's courses teach you to demonstrate, prove, allow, and forgive yourself for not respecting who you are. For some unknown reason, the very last person you ever think about is yourself. And at Bernard's courses, everything is laid out in a very clear and detailed way on how to show yourself, how to prove to yourself, how to allow yourself, and how to forgive yourself for not respecting who you are in a step-by-step manner. And all these incredible things, what I truly saw today, what I experienced today, it's all about that. And it doesn't take a considerable amount of time, but you need to take action a little bit. There's a 5-day training which is scheduled to start soon. You need to come and give it a try, and it promises to be beneficial. If you never try, you won't know how it is. You'll waste your time. You'll waste precious time and the opportunity to live differently. And this is an incredible opportunity. And Bernard is indeed a very open person and is truly dedicated and focused on helping people. And he supports a lot of people, 26 countries where he works, an incredible number of stars who support him and whom he supports. And it's just simply incredible. Such an opportunity comes once in a million. And I certainly always value time, because time in our lives, unfortunately, is limited. So, when there are great masters you can visit, who work with power and have achieved a lot in various fields and disciplines, who are successful in some areas or in all areas, like Bernard, and have demonstrated their expertise and skills in numerous ways, I believe you just have to take this chance to see, to feel, to try to change, and have been recognized for their contributions. It's really incredible, just believe me.
Thank you so much. No, having someone like you is a pleasure, because you're going to change to the person that you've always should have been. You know, there's 2 days of your life that's important: the day you're born and the day you know why you're born. And I will help you closer to the road. I teach you where the road is, and then you have to have the courage to walk the road. And if you like, I'll hold your hand for a while, but you'll discover yourself. You'll discover, because you'll never be happy unless you are living your fullest life. And so happiness in some countries is considered stupid too. Like, oh, happy, who's that? Like it's about, but that's what I believe. And the people I work with believe that. And we're not trying to change you. If you want to be who you are, fine. But if you want to be extraordinary, if you want to live a life that you can't, I remember my teacher taught me two things. He said, either write a book somebody wants to, everybody wants to read, or write a book, live a life that somebody wants to write a book about you. Do you understand? So the first thing he said, write a book everybody wants to read, or live a life so amazing that somebody actually wants to write a book about you. So that's what I'm talking about. But this is about high achievers. And you don't need a lot of money. You just need to, because the richest person is the person who has gifts, who knows what they are. The people that I know didn't start with money, but they have a lot of money because they were rich, because they've had talent that they were going to use. If you don't do transformation, you'll never discover more talent, more gift, or your ideas. They will sleep inside you forever. Only transformation gets it out. There's no talking. So it's a pleasure to be here and talk to you and talk to your listeners and realize that one thing can change your life. You have to make a move.
I'm learning to play the instrument, and that's why I'm here, to learn a few more things. So here's just a question. I would like there to be a place here that is surely magnificent, perhaps a grand theater or a beautiful concert hall. And I would love for the talented Bernard Hiller to play right now, showcasing his incredible skills and artistry, and talk about a place you don't even know about, a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. It's written over there, as you can clearly see. And now we ask you, Bernard, please tell us about this place, in your own words, with great enthusiasm, as if it's the most magnificent place that exists.
Oh, no. Well, listen, here's the thing. I don't know if you want to visit it. I just want to visit it. I'm not really making it great for anybody else. I love to visit it because you have to love what you're doing. It's like you're in the front and then people want to come. That's great. And if they don't want to come, that's great too. Does everybody have to love chocolate ice cream? I don't know. I'm not trying to sell chocolate ice cream. I'm only saying that you need to create a life that you can't wait to live. And you need to, but you first have to discover who you are to satisfy yourself. I have a place that I go that I love. But it wouldn't mean you love it because it's what I love. And we're different. We're all different. We're not computers. We're not all the same. Not everybody in the world loves borscht. Not everybody in the world loves German food or Russian food or Italian food. We're all individuals. And the individuality is where I love to be. And I love to be with people who are also individuals. But we're not looking for any members. We're in a club, but we're not looking for you to join unless you want to. Unless you're going to bring something special, unless you're going to make the world a better place, then we'd like to talk to you. But we create a place for ourselves to grow, to learn, find your friends, laugh for an hour a day, dance, don't worry. What are you worrying? That's not going to help you. Don't be around people that are always constantly negative and doubting. What are you doing? You're wasting time. And be around people and smile. And especially smile when things are difficult. That's what courage is. Courage is when everything is impossible, but you're smiling. That's how I can tell. Like you have no job, you got a divorce, you have no money, but you're happy. And that's what the difference is. Successful people are always reacting to things in a different way. Because if you broke up with your boyfriend, people are sad and depressed. She's not. We're looking for the individual who can not care what people think, not care what people think in school because they make fun of you, so then you become small. But everybody who is bullied, bullied, the word bully? Yeah. If you were bullied in school, that's a good sign. That means that you were special. And if you could still survive that, that's what made you great. But most people go like, okay, I don't want to say too much, and they're quiet and they're laughing. No, but that's what I love. I can't tell you what I love would make you love it, but I love adventure and I love chaos. I love when there's everything going on. And I love when I teach people how to create miracles, how to create a life, how to be successful, because successful people are always willing to do more than average people. That's why they succeed. And you can't sell success. And we're talking like success is like an American thing. No, I just like success. But if you don't like it, that's fine too. I'm not selling anything. I'm just giving away information. If you are hungry enough to eat it and use it, it'll change your life if you want to change it. It's all up to you. You have the power to become an extraordinary person, someone that will be unforgettable or not. Or it's okay. You understand? I'm speaking to a group of people who are hungry, who want to be satisfied emotionally, spiritually, financially, absolutely, and want to have a great life, relationships with fun and traveling and going. And those people will go on forever. They don't slow down. Sometimes people can't wait to retire, retire from their job. And I'm going, wow, they hate the job so much. They want to, but I'm not really working. I don't really have a job. I just love what I'm doing. So it's not really a job. And that's what you need to do. Create a life for yourself, not a job.
And lastly, I would really like to inquire, Bernard, since our podcast will indeed be released right before the new year. This will be a new era. The year 2025 will significantly transform people. So, please share your wishes for them.
I wish that you could find the love. The most important relationship in life is between you and you. You will never spend more time with anyone else in the world than you. The most important thing is getting connection with you and you. The second thing is get help. You cannot fix the problem. Einstein said, the person that creates the problem can never solve the problem because they are the problem. If you got problems, you cannot fix your own problem. It's not possible. So my second wish is get help. And the third one is do things that feed your joy. I make people do 3 things every day or 2 things every day that make them happy. You need to have joy, but you need to feed. Some people can't give you joy because they don't have any. There's nothing funny they do. You cannot give me what you do not have. Do you speak Portuguese? No. Do you speak?
I understand.
Do you speak Chinese? No. Yes or no? Yes. Do you speak Chinese? Do you speak to no? No. So you can't give me Chinese, right? You cannot give me what you don't have. So if you don't have love, you can't give me love. If you don't have joy, you cannot give. You can only give me what you have. So feed yourself. If you care about anyone in the world, take care of you, because if you're not good, you become a problem to other people. So love yourself, find the joy, create a life, and have a relationship with yourself. Because how much you love yourself is how much other people can love you. And how much you can take care of other people. Remember, if you're sick, who can you take care of? Nobody. You don't see anybody in the hospital helping the other patient in the other hospital bed. No. When you go to the doctor, did you ever notice the doctor's not sick? He's not sick. You're sick. He's not. He or she or whatever, but they're not sick. And so, if you care about the world, you would bring more joy to the world. Because that's what the world needs, more joy and more love. Goodbye.
Friends, each and every day, when you wake up, you are born anew. Every evening when you go to sleep, you experience a little death. Every day, it's your choice. How you will live, what you want from this life, where you strive to go. And, of course, you have to choose whether to live or not. You were with Clavdiya Brave, and Bernard Hiller.
Thank you so much.
But thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all the people. And realize that everything I say is possible. This is not difficult. Just do. And in Hollywood, we say action, which means do something. We don't say and talk. In the movies, they go, ready, everybody? Action.